So you can see right here, I'm on a screen. It's a typical Acumatica instance. And what we do with our EDI solution, so I don't know how familiar you are with SPS Commerce, but we already have this pre-built network to all these, 3,000 or 4,000 different trading partner or buying organizations. So we have all the EDI connectivity, with like Walmart requires AS2, Amazon, I think also does AS2, some do VAN. We accommodate for all the connectivity requirements. They all have their different EDI specs. So we have those all built and reused by all of our customers that connected this to our network. And then for this case, we're able to connect our network directly with Acumatica. And how we do that is install a solution right within Acumatica. And you would see it when we install it. It's on the left here called SPS Commerce EDI. And this it enhances the functionality within Acumatica to automate EDI documents like orders coming in, invoices going out, PO acknowledgements going out, ASNs going out, and some other things that we have on the product roadmap as well. And how it works is SPS Commerce, when we receive an EDI 850, or if you're in grocery, an EDI 875 purchase order, we take that, we post it to your SPS account, which there's another web-based version if you want, I can show. But what you would typically work out of is just right within Acumatica. You can configure it different ways. But one option would be if you go to receive inbound purchase orders, the orders will come in, they'll run through some validation logic. So we'll do things like analyze the content of the PO to make sure that Acumatica recognizes the item numbers on it, or like the ship to locations, that sort of thing, or even like pricing. And you can configure it a little bit differently. So in this case, there's 3 orders that came in. The top one came in with the status of okay, meant it passed all of the validation. It recognized everything, the item number, ship to location, pricing looked correct, etc. Warning is an example where, like if I want to click onto this, in this particular case, there was a warning that the customer configured to say if it's greater than 5% or 10% variance of what I set up my price for this item to be in Acumatica, then I want a warning signal to be shown to me. So you can still set it up even if it comes in as a warning status to be automatically imported. Some of our customers choose not to do it that way and actually take a look at it before they import it. Or if I want to go back to the previous screen, an example of like if we run an order through validation and it fails, like if it doesn't recognize an item number, then it'll show a failure and it won't import it into Acumatica. And you can go into this error message and it'll give you a notification saying what the problem is. So in this case, there was multiple things wrong with it. Didn't recognize the inventory ID, which is the Acumatica term for the item number that Acumatica recognizes. There was also a problem with the order quantity unit of measure. So maybe the trading partner ordered in cases, but in Acumatica, you have the item set up as eaches. So we do give you the ability to do cross-referencing when needed, both of those scenarios, like item numbers or unit of measures conversions. But either way, once you resolve those errors, if there are any, you can either set this up to automatically import orders into Acumatica without any clicks, or if you wanted to have more of a manual process for like maybe just the warnings, you do have the ability to select individual orders and then pull the data in for import into Acumatica. But let's say there is like I showed you that error order, and then there was a problem with an item cross-reference. So I just clicked on cross-referencing for items, and this is where you actually have the ability by trading partner to set up cross-references. So for example, if Walmart sends an EDI purchase order with only their buyer part number, you have the ability to correlate that to whatever item number you set up in Acumatica. So if it's a vendor ID or vendor part number or UPC number, whatever it is, that's how you can correlate your trading partner's item numbers, whatever they use on their EDI orders. Once you actually import an order, it's you just walk through the the Acumatica native solution. So I went into sales orders. I'm going to click into sales orders, and then we do add this EDI SOS tab at the top, which basically it's like an easy way for you to just toggle to that and see your actual EDI orders, so you can separate out the orders that you received via your SPS Commerce account from your various EDI trading partners. Just a quick way to just sort or filter through to those. And you can see here's the order that we imported. It's got all of the summary information like the PO number, PO date, shipping windows. It's got the item level information or the detail level information at the bottom. So, the product descriptions, unit of measures, pricing, quantities, that they ordered, etc. And there are different tabs that we add. So if you ever like an example, like for Nordstrom, if you ever start getting like the big department stores where they'll send you an order, I think Walmart actually does this for some of their vendors. Well, they will put on the order different store numbers. We call them SDQ locations, sales quantity destination locations. We do have the ability to populate individual store locations, even though you might be shipping to a distribution center. Otherwise, there's these other tabs that we give you access to. This SPS EDI details tab basically gives you the ability to correlate, like I mentioned earlier, different part number types that your customers might order by, that you might have different part numbers set up within Acumatica, so you can see that information here. I believe Amazon requires the EDI 855 purchase order acknowledgments. So if you have to send that document type for any of your trading partners, you can automate that right from within Acumatica as well. And that includes the ability to do it at the item level. So there's this line act status 1 field that we add to your account that you can choose from a drop-down. And this drop-down will actually change from customer to customer with the different options that are available based off of whatever their EDI 855 acknowledgement specification includes in it. And, so in this case, this particular trading partner has a whole bunch of different options that you can choose from, whether you're just accepting it as is, or if you have to reject a line item or something's back ordered, you choose whatever you're going to be doing with this order. And then to send that acknowledgement out, there's this button at the top that you click, and then that'll send the information to SPS Commerce right out of Acumatica. We take that, convert it into the EDI 855 specification that your trading partner requires, and send it off to them via whatever their preferred communication protocol is. Any questions so far?
Can you back step a little bit to the error page, and if we wanted to have visibility to it and how that actually is corrected? So we do have an issue currently with Wayfair and product numbers. We're hoping to get that fixed soon, but in the meantime, it may end up sticking around or happening again.
Yeah, so I just went in. I kind of clicked through that quickly, but I just went into receive inbound purchase orders, and then here's an example of the error, one of the POs that failed through the validation. So if I want to click into that, it's got an error message towards the bottom here at the detail level with different errors that came up through the validation here. So in this case, it's saying the unit of measure wasn't correct. It didn't match up with what I was expecting in Acumatica, or I haven't set up a cross-reference yet to convert, cases to eaches or vice versa. And then like another example here is the inventory ID. So they must have sent an item number on their EDI 850 that Acumatica didn't recognize. So that's where you can, it gives you the ability or the communication or the message to know what you need to fix. And then like what you would do is, if you get messages like this, if I go into SPS Commerce EDI tab under this cross references section, you can see there's different cross references types that you can go into. A common one that you would probably need to use is this customer item cross reference. And this is where if you needed to, let's say you added a brand new item that you just started selling, and Walmart just started ordering that item, and they only included their buyer part number on the actual EDI 850, and it's the first time you've gotten an order for this item. It's going to fail through the validation, just like that error message said. How you would get around that or resolve that issue is going in here, finding the item, or setting up an item cross-reference for it for Walmart to correlate it with the inventory ID that you have set up within Acumatica for that item, and correlate that with Walmart's buyer part number. So you would add that in, and then if you go to reprocess orders under the inbound purchase orders section, here's where the order would be, and you would select it and reprocess that, and then that would fire against the validation again and find that cross-reference that you just set up to resolve that item number issue. So it's not like you have to, call SPS Commerce necessarily or talk to our support team to get something like that resolved. That's something that you just have the ability to do, within Acumatica itself. That said, obviously you can call us or chat us whenever you need help.
Thank you.
Sure. Yep. So if I wanted to go back into orders, I kind of just walk you through the PO acknowledgement process. Did you have any questions on that acknowledgement itself?
No, at this time.
Okay. So from there, so the typical workflow that we see is the PO comes in for trading partners that require that acknowledgement. I showed you how to do that. And then typically the next step would be the shipping notice. So within Acumatica, a lot of Acumatica users they'll have logic set up within the system itself to create shipments automatically. But if you wanted to create them manually, you could do that by clicking on Create Shipment with that in Acumatica. And we do give you, again, there's this SPS EDI tab that if you had to add in like in this case, a bill of lading number, or like Dillard's, I believe, requires a load ID that you have to create via their TMS system. If there's just user-defined fields or custom fields that you have to add into Acumatica that are required in the advanced ship notice that you have to send to your trading partner, this is a tab that you have the ability to either manually populate information, or if you do have some sort of like WMS component that works in conjunction with Acumatica, you may be able to just automate the population from that WMS system into these fields, like a bill of lading number, so you don't even have to copy paste something in here.
So here it's a native warehouse. So it's their own warehouse. So that would populate from their warehouse activities, correct?
Yeah, if there's something that, if they have some sort of system that can populate the information into these fields,
it's the Acumatica warehouse management system.
Yep. So you would use that and then populate that information into these
right.
the correlated fields with whatever information that you have in that WMS.
So just to reiterate the benefit here, the EDI order comes into Acumatica. Acumatica's automation automatically generates a pick ticket. Your team in the warehouse physically picks and packs. Upon physically picking and packing, the information automatically triggers all the associated ERP, like invoicing and incomes and all the debits and credits, and populates the EDI so that the EDI can then automatically go update the trading partner. So, 80% of this whole thing is hands-free and automated.
With the printing of the shipping, is that a step that can be automated? It sounded like it was in the beginning, like when it first came in, that was already devised on where it was going to come out.
Yeah, that's all automated. EDI comes in, and the generation of the pick ticket. So the first time any human being touches anything is when they go pick up the pick ticket piece of paper off the printer in the warehouse. Or on their handheld, they get a task that says, go pick this. So there's no piece of paper, right?
That's what we're looking for.
Right. So that's either of those scenarios. It's all automatic. Then they go pick it. And of course, when they pick it, they have to acknowledge with keystrokes that it's been picked. And if it's on a handheld, they're typing the little buttons on the handheld that it's been picked. And then when they commit the pick, then it gets packed. When goes in the box, bubble wrap, whatever, when that gets committed, so someone has to hit the button. When that happens, then all the data then populates all of the EDI on this screen and simultaneously triggers all the debits and credits in the ERP that says, okay, I've shipped this. Now I've realized income / the sale, and I will behind the scenes create an invoice in Acumatica whilst I'm creating the associated EDI. I forget what the number is. I think it's an 820 back. And also, by the way, when you hit that commit, the 856, which is the acknowledgement that you're going to, the ASN notification back to the trading partner, all of that happens automatic. That's the beauty of this.
The shipping procedure of actually getting the printed shipping label, is that automatic?
Yes.
So they'll just have, once they process it, they'll have a label, a printout, stick in a box.
Yeah, and that has to get ferreted out, right? Because a lot of folks will use like a zebra printer for that type of label. If that's the case, I know that sometimes some of the big box guys, they want like a 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper, and they want their PO up in the upper right-hand corner, so they have a commonality from all of their vendors. So I know we've done some special report writing, but in the end, all that gets generated automatically.
Okay.
Yeah, so whether like you build your own packages or you have a handheld that you're able to use to populate the packaging, or maybe you just set up automatic packing rules, packing logic that does the creation of the packages. Either way, what you would do next is, in terms of actually sending the EDI advanced ship notice to your trading partners, again, you go back to SPS Commerce EDI. There's this outbound ASNs section, and if I wanted to process those EDI shipments, I click on that. And I'm going to pull up from this drop down under the actions. I'm going to prepare packaging, and it's going to pull up the shipments that I've created. You can see there's check marks under this prepare package preparation box that's saying I've already done it for some shipments, but for this particular shipment that I just created, I haven't done this step yet, so it's blank. So I'm going to select that one. I'm going to prepare the packaging. If you have logic set up, it'll build the package. Otherwise, if you if you've already prepared the packaging before this, you can just overwrite it. Click on this box to overwrite it, so we don't change anything you've already done. But either way, you would prepare the packaging at the first step. And then if you do have any trading partners like Walmart, if you're shipping to their distribution centers, they're going to require the GS1128 labels if you're familiar with those. We do have a label library in the background here at SPS Commerce that Acumatica will send the shipment data to. And we will use that data to populate the correctly formatted label according to Walmart or Amazon, whatever trading partners that you're creating the labels for. We'll take the shipment data and format it according to their label template. And then what you would do is choose print labels. Similar check mark box. You can see I haven't printed labels for this shipment yet, so that's a good indicator to know if you've done something or not. So I'm going to select that shipment. I'm going to print the labels, and then once I click on process, that actually sends a ZPL file to your Zipa printer to print out those GS1128 labels for your warehouse folks to attach to the cartons or the pallets. Those labels, again, that's more of like the ship to DC, ship to store order models. They're not required for, if you're drop shipping directly to an end consumer. But from there, in terms of actually sending the EDI 856 out, the next step would be marking the shipment as ready to send. So again, you can see I haven't done that yet for this shipment. I can select it. I'm going to process this as ready to send, and you can select the configuration of this solution at this point, where once you do this step that I just showed you to click on ready to send, at that point we can export it from Acumatica as an EDI 856 to your partner. Or if you don't, even though you might want to mark it as ready to send yet, but not necessarily send the ASN to your partner yet, you do have the ability to delay that or schedule it. In which case, if I wanted to go back to the SPS Commerce EDI tab, there's also this send outbound ASNs section where you can schedule ASNs to be sent like at a certain time of the day. So for example, if you wanted to create those ASNs and mark them as ready to send, but FedEx trucks don't come to your location to actually pick up the shipments until 5 p.m. every day, then you can schedule the ASNs to be exported at 5 p.m. And so this is the screen where you could go to do that. Or you could just, manually select certain shipments and send them, yourself if you wanted to do it that way. Most of our customers would do this on a scheduled basis.
That sounds good.
The invoices are typically the last step of the transactional process. And, I think this was kind of already talked about, but within Acumatica, it does have the ability to automatically create the invoices off of shipments. And so most of our customers, they'll configure our EDI solution to do the same thing, so that once the shipments are sent, the EDI invoices are automatically exported as well. So there's not really anything much to show there other than if I wanted to, under the outbound invoice section, view all invoices, you do have the ability, obviously, to see the invoices that SPS Commerce is exporting and what the status is from this screen here. If there is like a issue with an ASN you sent, there is visibility right from within Acumatica. So if I wanted to view errors, there's a view ASN errors screen here, and this has a list of problems that resulted in some sort of data issue with ASNs that you tried to send. And again, there's an error message here. You would probably download these to an Excel, so it's a little bit easier to read. But again, it has error messages that describe what the problem is and how to fix those. So you can, again, hopefully have the visibility into this sort of data, so you can, if you forgot to add a bill of lading number and Walmart requires that, then you would just, add that in and then reprocess the ASN. So you have the ability or the visibility to do things like that. And again, there's a reprocess ASN section here as well. So you can see the errored ASN, select them, and reprocess them. Other than that, you do have the ability to see all of your data in another spot, not necessarily within Acumatica, but we do have something called Fulfillment Monitor, where, if you just had a business user that wanted to look up, do a general search of your documents that you've either sent or received from your SPS account, whether that's via our web-based service that you would also have access to, or the data coming in and out of Acumatica, you do have the ability at your fingertips for anyone in the company to look up your EDI data. So as an example, there's various search parameters under document type. I just did an example. I put in shipments. I want to see all the ASNs, generally speaking, that I've sent over a particular time period. This is another, or if you just wanted to look up a specific one, you could put in a shipment ID or a PO number. You can see here some search results. So it's got the trading partner name that I sent ASNs to, timestamps, the acknowledgement status. So if they've actually acknowledged something that I've sent or not, how we sent it to them, like the connectivity, whether it's AS2 or FTP or a value-added network. You'd have the ability to click into it. If you wanted, someone from the business office to make sense of what you actually sent, there's a nicely templated template format of the advanced ship notice instead of raw EDI data, which can be hard to read for maybe people in the accounting office. But this is easy to read. That said, you do have the ability to look at the actual files that we receive, the data that we receive from Acumatica, and the EDI data that we turn that into. So, if Walmart ever calls you and says, I never got an 856, an advanced ship notice from you, or there's an issue with the EDI data itself and they want you to pull up the actual data, you have the ability to do that, as well as view the actual EDI 997 functional acknowledgements that we receive back from them, which is kind of like a read receipt. We will post those files here. So, a good example where you might use that is if a trading partner says they never received an ASN, and they say they're going to charge you a penalty for that. This is a good place to see, first of all, confirm if you did send the ASN and if you got an acknowledgement back from them. And if you did, you can download the file from here and email it back saying, yeah, you can't charge me because you did receive it because you acknowledged it. So you have that sort of visibility at your fingertips. And then you also have the ability under this reports tab to set up daily automated reports. So these are optional. You can subscribe to them with group email addresses or individual addresses. Popular ones that people subscribe to are that daily unacknowledged report. So again, if you sent 100 ASNs yesterday, 99 got acknowledged, but one of them didn't, then you would get an email the next day saying, here's that one that you didn't get an acknowledgement for. So you might want to ask your trading partner about that one. Same with daily error reports. So if you sent, again, 100 documents outbound yesterday and 2 of them had some sort of error that SPS Commerce processed, then you would have a daily error report to easily see those on an exception basis. And then there's just some general transaction volume reports as well. I won't get into too much of this. I just switched screens to our fulfillment service, which is, you would probably use it more of like a backup solution, but you do have access to this solution as well, where we will post orders here. And this is where, like, if you're on the road, or maybe your internal network goes down, something crazy like that happens, as long as you have internet access from somewhere, you can still at least log in to your SPS Commerce account to see what EDI orders came in and even process outbound documents like shipping notices or invoices, as a secondary option. This is a good place that you could use to do non-automated document types. And what I mean by that, like Target is an example where they will send an EDI 864 document, which is it's a text message. So they could use a text message for anything, whether it's just updating you with something, or maybe for one of my customers, they sent a text message saying that they reused an SSCC 18 number within the last 12 months. So they need to fix that and use a unique number. There's not really a place to put that in most ERP systems, and most companies just want to read that message anyways. So this would be a good spot to go to where we would post those text message to, and you would be able to open those up and read them. And for any other document type that maybe Acumatica can't even automate, this is a good spot to go to be able to send or receive any other EDI document type. But again, probably more of a backup solution. Like I said, everything I showed you within Acumatica, it is a native solution. So kind of the point of it is, once you get used to working with Acumatica and your business users get comfortable with it and it's all configured, they're kind of just going through their workflow within Acumatica. Most of it's going to be automated. You don't have to go to separate portals to do things, It's just like this is your home within Acumatica, like an ERP is designed.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, thank you very, very much. Very thorough. You can see that Got a question? Just going to say that you could see that SPS is fully integrated with Acumatica, kind of part of the whole solution. One little footnote mentioned on invoicing, we've done for some kind of a claims management feature in the accounting area. So if you get payment from Amazon and they're shorting you 5% because they claim there's a chargeback that's not legit, we have a way to flag those invoices and give you a drop down, like using those attributes we talked about before, that gives you a reason why there's a claim. And then with the beauty of the tools that you've seen here, you're able to very quickly go gather the information that, let's say they said that you didn't ship the right quantity, or you shipped it at the wrong time, or whatever the reason for the chargeback was. You can quickly respond to that and provide data to counterclaim the chargeback because of the information that you've got in here. So the tools can not only be used by your warehousing group, but by the accounting group in terms of managing the chargeback area. And of course, those are monies that go right to the bottom line.